Hello and welcome to Wellbeing Café. Thank you so much for joining. For today's class, we'll focus on the chest, shoulders, back, and side body. You may want to have a blanket or pillow and 1 or 2 blocks. Though if you do not have any of these props, that is also perfectly fine. And we'll go ahead and get started. Slowly make your way to your back. We'll begin laying in Savasana. Take deep breaths here. Feel the belly fall and rise with each inhale and exhale. And we'll start with 4-4-6 breath, where we inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale for a count of 6. We'll take 1 clearing breath to begin. Deep inhale. Exhale all of the air out of your lungs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. 2 more breaths at your own pace, taking it as quickly or slowly as you would like. Once you complete your second round, fill up your entire body with air, and then exhale it all out. Our first pose of the class will be Banana Asana. Bring your right foot to the bottom right corner of the mat, and bring your left foot directly next to it. An option to cross at the ankles here and bring the left ankle on top of the right. Shift your shoulders over towards the right, and make sure both sits bones can still touch the ground here. Bring your right arm overhead, an option to clasp the right wrist in the left hand, and then bring them up and over to the right side. And if you are dealing with limited space here, or it feels better in your body, go ahead and clasp opposite elbow and bring them up and over to the right. The gaze can go over towards the left elbow. If your arms begin to get numb here, an additional option to bring a block, bolster, pillow, or blanket underneath the arms to lift them gently. Meet your edge in this side body stretch, but note that if you feel any sensations of pain, you should come out of the pose and then come back into a different extent, maybe bringing different props in, maybe even coming into a different pose entirely. Deep inhale. And exhale, slowly unwind. Bring the legs back into center, 1 foot at a time. And gently move the shoulders back as well. Bend through both knees. An option to take a gentle windshield wiper. And whenever you're ready, lengthen out through the legs. This time, bring the left foot towards the bottom left corner of the mat. An option to keep the right foot directly next to it or cross at the ankles to deepen. Shift the shoulders to the left to your extent. And reach the arms up and overhead, maybe clasping the left wrist in the right hand. And bringing the hands up and towards the left. An option here to clasp opposite elbows again, if that felt good on the first side. The gaze can go over towards the right side of the body if that feels good. Breathe into your right side body and allow your muscles to relax. In our yin poses, we are consciously not engaging any of these muscles. And this can be quite difficult, especially if you're more used to yang style classes where we are moving very fast and engaging muscles. But during our yin classes, we are made to soften more, to relax into the pose. And this difference in strength and in pushing doesn't mean that yin practice is easier per se. It's a different challenge in itself, and there is a lot of intensity in a lot of these poses where you meet your edge, and it's quite uncomfortable. And so the trick is to practice using your breath to release the muscles that we are so used to engaging, and allow the stress to instead go towards the fascia and the connective tissues and joints in our bodies. So in this pose, see if you can consciously send your breath to any areas that feel resistant, that feel tense, and see if you can allow them to relax. Deep inhale, exhale, slowly return to center, uncross the ankles if they were crossed. Bring the arms back by the sides and shift your shoulders back towards the center of the mat. Bend through both legs, gentle windshield wiper, the knees back and forth. Whenever you're ready, make your way onto your belly, maybe rolling over one shoulder. Place the forehead on top of the palms and shift the hips from side to side. For our next pose, you may want to bring a blanket, block, or pillow to the right side of your mat, right by where your leg will be. We'll come into open wing pose. Start by extending your right arm directly in line with your shoulder. The arm can remain straight for a less intense stretch, or you can cactus through the arm to create more intensity. Bend through the left leg and roll over onto your right side. The left leg can land on top of a pillow or bolster. You can keep it bent or straighten it out. Just see how your glutes and hamstrings feel. An option to bring a block underneath your head for additional support. The left arm can either remain directly by your face, helping to lift out of the pose. You can bring it in front of your mat in one straight line over the ear, or you can come into a half bind with the left hand reaching for the right hip. You may feel this stretch in the shoulder area, the chest and leg as we open up. If your arm becomes tingly here, come out for just a moment, tap out the fingers, and then try re-entering the pose. Allow yourself to relax here. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Slowly unwind your left arm if it was in a half bind, and lower your chest to the ground. Return blood flow to the fingertips by tapping them on the ground, and rest your forehead on top of your palm. Shift the hips from side to side. An additional option to bend through the knees and windshield wiper from a different perspective. Once you feel ready, straighten out through the legs. If you used a pillow to support your leg on the other side, go ahead and switch it over before we come into the pose. And send the left arm out in line with the left shoulder. An option again to cactus through the left arm to create more intensity. Bend through the right leg and slowly lift onto your left side and set up as you would like to on this side, maybe letting your head rest on the ground or lifting it up. Take any variation you'd like with the right arm, maybe leaving it directly by your chest. Maybe reaching overhead or coming into a half bind with right hand reaching towards the left hip. If your right glute begins to cramp, go ahead and either close the leg or straighten it out. Maybe here you invite ocean breath, a calming breath that helps us to settle our nervous system, to settle our energy, to release deeper into our yin postures. Begin ocean breath or follow along with me. If you have a free hand, go ahead and bring it in front of your mouth. We're going to pretend like we're fogging up a mirror, and so you want to feel your breath on your hand here. Deep inhale, exhale, fog up the mirror. One more time, inhale, exhale, fog up the mirror. This time we'll seal the lips, but we will make the same sound, but we don't want to feel any breath on our hand. Deep inhale, exhale. Continue with this calming breath, this ocean breath, and notice if it helps you settle deeper into the pose. Deep inhale and exhale. Slowly unwind if you have your right hand bound, and come down gently onto your belly. Remove any props and lower your forehead onto the backs of your hands. Shift the hips from side to side, maybe inviting in windshield wipers once again. Once you're ready, re-extend the legs out long and lift up onto your forearms for Sphinx Pose. To make this pose less intense, bring your elbows out slightly and lower your chest down. You can also lift the hips with a pillow or blanket to decrease the back bend. An additional option here to bring the palms of the hands together, or to reach for opposite elbow to release tension in the arms. Even though this pose can be quite active, especially when we are doing it in a Yang style class, see if you can release your muscles and settle into the posture. If you do start to feel discomfort in the lower back, gently bring more activation in by gently engaging the lower core and the glutes. We do want to maintain a relaxed state in this posture and to bring as little engagement as possible into the body, but our first priority is to protect the lower back. Allow the head to relax. A great option if you have a block is to rest your forehead on top of the block. For the last part of this hold, an option to stay here in Sphinx Pose, or to bring the hands directly in front of the elbows, which are in line with the shoulders, and to lift up into Seal Pose. To decrease the intensity, you can walk your hands forward slightly, or return to Sphinx Pose. Deep inhale, exhale. Wherever you are, slowly release and come down with forehead on top of the hands. Shift your hips from side to side and invite gentle movements. And when you're ready, send the legs out long. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders and slowly and gently lift up and walk the knees underneath your hips. Bring both feet to one side and gently lower your glutes towards the ground. Bring the feet wider than the hips and open up your arms wide. Inhale here, expand. exhale, give yourself a huge hug, bringing the right arm underneath the left. Lean forward and bring the elbows in between the knees. Straighten out through the arms and allow the knees to fall apart to your depth for seated closed wing pose. If this does not feel intense enough in your body, you can also come down to your belly and do this pose as well. By first coming up into Sphinx, bringing the left elbow slightly out, threading the right arm under, and bringing your left arm across as well. From here, your forehead can rest on a block, if that feels good in your neck. Take your time setting up the pose that feels best in your body. You may feel an opening between the shoulder blades, maybe in the shoulder itself. And if you are on your belly, you may also feel sensation in the mid to lower back. Wherever you are, fill your body with breath. Feel the space between the shoulder blades expand. And exhale. Deep inhale and exhale. If you are in seated closed wing pose, gently lift the chest up and bring the knees together. From here, bring hands behind the hips and invite gentle movements into your body. If you are on your belly for closed wing pose, gently lift your chest up. Bring engagement into the upper and lower back as you slide your right arm underneath your shoulder and shift your weight into the right elbow as you free your left arm. From here, you can lower down to the belly and shift the hips side to side. Wherever you are, take gentle movements in your body and allow them to feel good. Maybe sticking with structured movements or allowing for intuitive movements, ones that feel good, even though there may not be an explanation for it. In these movements, you can close your eyes if that feels safe to you, and move in ways that your body is asking for. Our bodies often know the best counter poses to these long holds. Three more breaths of exploration here. Deep inhale and exhale. If you did seated closed wing on the other side, go ahead and rebend your legs. Inhale, expand through the arms, reach them out to both sides. And exhale, cross the left arm underneath the right and give yourself a hug. Lean the chest forward and allow the elbows to fall somewhere in between the knees. Extend through both arms and allow the knees to fall apart as your chest leans forward. Come to your extent, reaching your edge here. And if you were in closed wing on your belly last time, gently lift into Sphinx Pose. Bring the right elbow slightly out and thread the left arm underneath the right. Cross the right arm in front and lower your forehead either to the ground or to a block. Take your time setting up your pose. And know that if one version no longer serves you, you can always come into the opposite version, even during our long holds. Deep inhale, exhale. If you are in seated closed wing pose, gently lift your chest up and draw the knees together. Place both hands behind your hips and take any movements that feel good. If you are in closed wing, bring gentle engagement to the back and core area as you slowly lift up your chest. You draw your left elbow underneath the left shoulder and unwind. Bring both hands to the ground and gently lower your forehead to the tops of your hands. Shift your hips from side to side and take any other movements that feel good in your body. And as you're ready, slowly make your way into child's pose. Bring the knees out wide and the big toes to touch. Slowly lower your chest towards the ground. An option to bring a blanket or pillow or block underneath the chest to support you here. You may feel sensation in the inner thigh, the hip area, the lower back, and the shoulders. Allow your chest to melt towards the ground. If you have extra space in between your hips and heels, an option to fill the gap with a blanket or pillow here for extra support. It's important to know that none of the yoga poses will look the same in any of our bodies. And yin poses in particular are very personal to our experience and how we're made, the physical makeup of our bodies. These poses will not look the same in every body because each body is different. And it doesn't mean that one shape or one expression is more superior than the other, because we are all reaching our edge, simply finding the best shape for us to do that in our own personal bodies. So feel free in any of these poses to shift around, and it's perfectly okay and very normal if the pose does not look the same to the one you see in this video, or if you are practicing with other friends or family, or if you are in a class with a lot of other people. The pose will not look the same in everybody. So feel free to take the knees wider or narrower, or to lift the chest up even more. Deep inhale. Exhale, slowly lift up. Walk your hands back towards your torso and lift the hips up. The knees can stay wide here or come closer together. Just see how it feels in your kneecaps. If you have a blanket as well, it might feel more comfortable to pad the knees. And whenever you're ready, plant your left hand in the center of your mat. Inhale, open the right arm towards the sky. The gaze can follow here. Breathe, take one breath. Inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, right arm behind left as your right ear comes towards the ground. The left arm can either stay directly by your head, reach towards the top of the mat, or come into a half bind, reaching for the right hip crease. Open up through the chest and feel the twist here as you turn from the belly button. We won't be here for too long. We're simply neutralizing the spine before we come into our final resting pose. So there's no need to find an edge in these last two poses. Simply allow it to feel good in your body. Deep inhale. Exhale, unwind. The left hand comes back underneath the left shoulder. Inhale, lift the right arm towards the sky. And when you're ready, set the right hand underneath the right shoulder. Shift the hips from side to side. An option to bend through both elbows here and take some gentle movements for the next 3 breaths. Return to this pose with the knees slightly out wide, the hands underneath the shoulders. Bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, left arm towards the sky. One breath here, inhale. Exhale, thread the needle, left arm behind right. The left ear comes to the ground or to a block. And the right hand either stays underneath the elbow next to your face, reaches towards the top of the mat, or comes into a half bind with right hand reaching towards the left hip crease. Open up through the shoulders. The gaze can go out towards your left hand or lift slightly higher towards the ceiling. Deep inhale. Exhale, unwind. Bring the right hand underneath the right shoulder and slowly lift up. Inhale, left arm towards the sky. Exhale, left hand underneath left shoulder. Shift the hips from side to side and slowly make your way into a comfortable seated position. Before we come to our final resting pose, I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining for today's practice. And if you liked the video, please subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how this went for you. And with that, we'll go ahead and come into our final resting pose. Plant the soles of the feet on the ground. Reach towards the top of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down to your back. Set up in any way that feels comfortable to you. Maybe you place a pillow underneath the head or underneath the knees. Palms face towards the ceiling, and the feet go out long and wide. Settle into Savasana, the final resting pose. Scan through the body and notice how you feel in this moment. Is it different to the beginning of class? Has anything shifted or changed in the mind or body? Bring gentle awareness to the face. Release tension. Awareness to the torso. Release tension. Awareness to the arms. Gentle awareness to the legs. Bring gentle awareness to the entire body. Release tension. For the next few moments, allow your body to simply be. Stay here in Shavasana for as long as you would like. An option to pause the video here. Invite gentle movements into the fingers and toes. And circle through the wrists and ankles. Bring the arms up overhead for one last full body stretch. Bend through one knee and then the other, and slowly roll onto one side. And when you're ready, gently and slowly lift up into a comfortable seated position. Eyes can remain heavy here. Inhale, arms reach overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, lower the thumbs to third eye center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere find peace and happiness, and might my words, thoughts, and actions create a space of peace and happiness for others. Bow towards one another to close off the practice. When you're ready, gently lift out of the pose. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.